time for Peninsula Oilers baseball on ESPN 1140 AM and 96.9 FM. The 2026 Peninsula Oilers pregame show is brought to you by Sweeney's Clothing, including a look around the league featuring scores and standings, and starting lineups and pitching matchups as we go around the horn. Sponsored by Genward Towing and Recovery. Oilers baseball on ESPN also brought to you by State Farm agent Christy Babcock, Beeman's Variety, Gentle Dental, Central Peninsula Hospital, and Ashman Krause Real Estate. The three-time national champion Peninsula Oilers game broadcasts on ESPN, also brought to you by Steam on Wheels, Gans Automotive, Kenai Peninsula College, White Spruce Trailer Sales, Dam Construction and Roofing, and Ridgeway Dentistry. The 2026 Oilers baseball season on ESPN 1140 AM and 96.9 FM. Also sponsored by Peninsula Surgery and Aesthetics, Earhart, Elsner and Cooley Attorneys at Law, Eyewear Express, Jumpin' Junction, and Soldotna Professional Pharmacy. Oilers baseball is also brought to you on ESPN by AK Express, Martha's Cocina, Odyssey Family Practice, AK Tree Solutions, and Playa Azul. The Peninsula Oilers postgame show is sponsored by Peninsula Community Health Services with game recaps and on-field interviews. Now let's go live to today's Oilers game with the ESPN broadcast team.
And welcome just in time for Oilers baseball at Mulcahy Baseball Stadium. It's Dylan Simmons and Tucker Blau as your Oilers take on the Anchorage Glacier Pilots in a doubleheader set. Let's waste no time and get right into it. Cam Crogan on the mound for the Pilots and Brooks Hossenclaver, the right fielder, at the plate to kick off this first game. Fastball delivered to the outside for ball number one, joined by Tucker Blau. And Tucker, it is a big-time fight between the Oilers and Pilots today. Both teams trying to make their statement late in this regular season. This pitch delivered to the outside for ball two.
Yeah, the Oilers looking for a strong. They've got 3 games left in the season, and then they're just going to play the waiting game, as Coach McCann said before the game, and watch the other teams duke it out. So looking for a strong 3-game finish to this season to put them in a good spot to try to maintain first or second place, which is all they need to get into the championship on top of the world.
Strike one is delivered as the count goes to 2-1. We'll go over all the ramifications of this end of the regular season as soon as we can. 2-1 on the way to Hossenclaver. Ground ball delivered up the middle and past the diving glove of Zach Hefner, the second baseman. And Brooks Hossenclaver is on with a leadoff single. The ABL's leader in RBIs and home runs picks up where he left off on Sunday.
Yeah, Hossenclaver moved from the middle of the order to the top of the lineup here recently, and he's just been cooking atop of this Oilers lineup. And here showing he can not only do power with the bat, but a seeing eye single up the middle, and he's on first with nobody out to lead off the game.
Hit number 27 of the season for Hossenclaver. Again, Cam Crogan is on the mound with 11 1/3 innings pitched on the year and a 3.97 ERA. He delivers a fastball inside here to Mark Nellis, and the count will be at 1-0. Nellis, the team leader in total hits with 30 on the season, which is also one of the top marks in the entire Alaska Baseball League. 1-0 to the man from Toronto, Ontario. It's in for a strike, and the count evens at 1-1. Crogan emphasizing the fastball early on.
Yeah, Nellis, another key component of this Oilers roster, really good at getting on base and advancing runners. That's exactly what he's looking to do here.
Nellis, ground ball up the middle, and the shortstop, Verhamy, will throw on to first, but the throw will not make it in time as Nellis legs out an infield single. Bit of a slow roller. Verhamy took his time getting to it and could not get the throw off over to first.
Yeah, Verhamy just a good play up the middle to get there, and then I think he hesitated whether to throw to second for the force or just go to first, and that was all the hesitation that Nellis needed to get to first just ahead of the throw. Legs out the infield single, and the Oilers putting on the pressure early to Crogan.
Yeah, this Oilers team are men on a mission, to say the least. And when you consider what is on the line in many ways in these last few games, you can understand why. Nolan Graw to the plate as this is delivered outside. Here is the situation. The Oilers have just their 3 games left on the schedule in the regular season because the other games that were rained out will not be played. Those are instead canceled as they'll try pickoff back to second. Hossenclaver dives back in time. So, if the Oilers are able to go 3-0 in these final 3 games, they're almost assured a spot in the top of the World Championship Series. If they go 2-1, it's a maybe. If they go 1-2, it's very unlikely. Here is a line shot right to the shortstop. Double play for the Glacier Pilots as they get both Graw as well as Hassenclaver. Wow.
And that's just frustrating for the Peninsula because they did everything right. Graw put a beautiful swing on that, lined it up the middle. Hassenclaver on a line drive, you got to freeze, but there was really no way for him to get back to second base anyway, and Verhamy just happened to be positioned perfectly, and that's just an easy double play.
A great play by Henry Verhamy, the shortstop for the Glacier Pilots, after struggling on that infield single on Nellis, able to get the double play on Graw here. That brings up Luke Lusky, the cleanup man in the order, working as the first baseman for the Oilers in this contest. Pilots infield is as follows: Ryan Dotson at third, Henry Verhamy at short, Zach Hefner at second, and Logan Strong over at first. 2 outs, Lusky swing and a miss on a Cam Krogan breaking ball. Takes the count to 0-1.
Yeah, that was a huge double play for the Pilots, turning a first and second nobody out into not even a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Lusky trying to still get something out of this inning with a man on first.
And Lusky might do exactly that. Here's a shot over to right center field. Diving and making the catch is Jack Karen, the right fielder. What a job by Karen coming over to end the frame.
Yeah, terrific play for the Pilots. And again, an inning that started out so promising for the Oilers. Frustrating to see it come to an end, but really every single ball put in play was put into a good spot and hit hard. So Oilers offense coming out strong, though they didn't get any runs out of it.
2 hits, no runs, no errors, and 1 man left on base. The Oilers' early success, but they come up empty against Cam Krogan and the Pilots. We'll be back for the bottom of the first in just a minute on ESPN.
It's Progress Days weekend in Sildana. This Saturday, the parade starts at 11 a.m. from Marydale to Binkley and ends on Redoubt. Then head on over to Parker Park for the free community barbecue beginning at noon. Outdoor games, food trucks, and more. While you're out, stop by Sweeney's Clothing for all your summertime essentials. From Carhartt workwear and rain gear for the whole family, it's one of the area's largest selections of Carhartt. Sweeney's Clothing in Sildana, your workwear and outerwear headquarters for the whole family.
Let's talk about something that's not always top of mind, but still really important: life insurance. Because it offers financial protection for your loved ones and can help them pay for things like a mortgage, credit card debt, and even your children's education. Plus, life insurance is probably a lot more affordable than you think. And with State Farm, your local agent can help you understand your options and choose coverage that fits your needs and budget.
Hi, this is Christy Babcock, your local State Farm agent, still in Kenai, and now also at the Soldotna Y.
Welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska, otherwise known as the crossroads of the world. It's Dylan Simmons and Tucker Blau joining you from Mulcahy, and through one frame on the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard, it is 0-0 between the Oilers and Glacier Pilots. First game of a 2-game doubleheader today, which means both games will be 7 innings. A little bit of a later start tonight, so we'll be here for a while, and we hope that all of you stay tuned throughout this one.
Absolutely, and like you said, the Oilers putting up a 0 in the top of the first, but I don't think it was a 0 on the morale side. They were definitely hitting the ball well. Like I said, multiple hits and gaps, just good plays by the Pilots. A fortunate double play on a line drive up the middle off the bat of Nolan Graw, and then that sensational diving full extension grab from Jack Karen to end the inning. So Oilers looking good to put up some runs today, I still say.
Henry Verhamy will lead off for the Glacier Pilots here. The shortstop will be followed by Zach Hefner and Cooper Kunis. 1, 2, and 3 due up in the order. And it's Evan Cineres on the bump to start this one. Delivers a strike here as the count goes to 0-1. This is his second game started of the season. He's got a 1-0 record with a 6.60 ERA and 14 total strikeouts in 15 innings. Here's a ground ball slowly hit up the middle over to Hoover, the shortstop, and Kyler Hoover's throw to first is in time, just barely to get the 6-3. A little bit of a low throw to Lusky, but able to scoop it up for the out.
Yeah, that ball was hit very slow, but with the speed of Verhamy, Hoover had to hurry. That's exactly what he did. Put the ball in the dirt, but you can't expect much more from a guy who's just trying to flip it over to first as fast as he possibly can, and then Lusky able to dig him out of the ground and save the play. So good play on both sides.
Hoover still in many ways trying to establish his chemistry with this team. He only flew up a few days ago, and his first game was July 19th against Matsu, the last game the Oilers played, as that is delivered inside by Cineres. Both of these teams have not played since before July 20th. 3 days in a row of no baseball throughout the Alaska Baseball League, so you can bet both of these teams just happy to be back. But rust could be a factor on both sides. We'll see. Cineres delivers an off-speed pitch high, and that brings the count to 2-0.
And that puts the Oilers in a good position, I'd say. Like you said, the bullpen, they haven't had a game in 3 days. The bullpen, all the pitchers completely rested. They've got all fresh arms. You've only got 3 games left, so put the Oilers in a great spot to finish strong in the ABL.
1-0 pitch by Cineres. Swing and a miss by Zach Kiefner evens the count at 1-1. Zach Kiefner with a .282 average on the year, .429 on base percentage, 11 hits and 3 RBIs. Count evening up, or excuse me, at 2-1 should be to Kiefner. Second baseman awaits Cineres' pitch, and it's a fastball well inside, and that should take it to 3-1 here. 3-1 coming up to Zach Kiefner. Cineres emphasizing the fastball and off-speed pitch early on against these Glacier pilots. Cineres takes his time and delivers the 3-1 fastball, and that one's perfect for a strike, and I'd say that clocked in probably close to 90.
Yeah, that was a good pitch from Cineres. Like you said, a little extra heat on it, but also just able to find the zone in a 3-1 count, which is huge. Now you're forcing Kiefner to swing at anything close in the 2 strikes.
Payoff pitch coming up with 1 out to Kiefner. Cineres' fastball is fouled off by Kiefner, and that might have been inside initially. Kiefner decided to try to swing at it, make something happen, but fouled it off toward the opposite side.
And that's exactly what you get when you work that 2-strike count. Kiefner not willing to take the risk of getting rung up there on the inside corner, forced to foul it off, and Cineres has another pitch to go after him here.
Payoff pitch coming up from Cineres, delivers another 3-2. Here's the ball popped up on the left side into shallow left center field. Hoover camps underneath it, slips, but it's actually going to be Brady Brown, the left fielder, who comes in to make the catch. That was a close call, but Brown able to get it done.
Yeah, when the infielder and the outfielder are converging like that, the outfielder always has the right to call the infielder off, which is what happened in this case. The outfielder just always has the better angle coming in on the ball. And Hoover, as soon as he got called off, tried to stop, like you said, feet slipped out from underneath him, but thankfully nothing comes out of it as the left fielder, Brown, still able to make the catch.
Cooper Kunis will be at the plate for the Pilots, and he hits one toward the opposite corner and fouls it over the fence as the count will be at 0-1. Your defensive lineup for the Oilers is as follows. Nolan Graw's at third, Hoover at second, Hoover at short, Cannon at second, Lusky at first, Cineres on the mound, Fernandez is the catcher, and it's Brown, Nellis, and Hostenclaver in the outfield. 0-1 on the way, and this is delivered outside by Cineres to even the count at 1-1. Cooper Kunis, the center fielder, has the top batting average on the Glacier Pilots at .301, 25 hits and 13 RBIs total on the season, as well as 5 doubles. This is the first time that these two teams, as this is grounded toward the right side over to Lusky, throws it to Cineres, who covers the bag for the final out. First time these two teams have met in the month of July, and so far through 1 inning, both teams' defense is rising to the occasion despite some resistance. 0-0 is your score, no runs, no hits, no errors in the bottom of the first for Anchorage. We'll be back in just a moment on ESPN. Don't go anywhere.
Officers of Beeman's, talking with Steve. Is a party in your future? You can get all the party supplies right here at Beeman's.
Matt, we have greeting cards for almost every occasion, so you can stop by and view our large selection of those. We have Wilton cake pans and decorating products, candy flavorings. We have latex and mylar balloons, portable helium tanks, table covers, plates and cutlery, piñatas, party favors, and lots of games.
Get this and more right now at Beeman's, located on the Kenai Spur Highway in Soldotna.
Gentle Dental in Soldotna continues to invest in the latest dental technology. Their new 3D scanning system makes Invisalign treatment, root canals, extractions, and future of dental implants more precise and predictable than ever before. They've also refreshed their office to create an even more comfortable experience for every patient. Whether it's time for a checkup or a new smile, Gentle Dental is ready to help. Call Gentle Dental in Soldotna today at 907-262-8834 to schedule an appointment.
Back here on ESPN, Dylan Simmons, Tucker Blau, live from Mulcahy Stadium, where it's Peninsula Oiler baseball time once again on ESPN. Through 1 inning so far, no score between the Pilots and the Oilers, but I think it's fair to say Peninsula overall in that first inning had more offensive success, just unable to cash in against Cam Krogan. We'll see if they can change that here in the top of the second.
Yeah, like you said, Hassan Claver started off with that single up the middle. Mark Nellis, an infield single up the middle. That put 2 runners on, and then that just fortunate double play for the Pilots on probably the most well-hit ball of the frame. Nolan Graw lines it up the middle, and the Pilots able to get 2 outs out of it somehow. Lusky, again, should have got a base hit with his, but a nice grab by the right fielder. So just the whole Oilers team really putting it to Grogan.
Owen Musil fouls this one off to the opposite side, and the count will be at 0-1. It'll be Musil, Shane Cannon, and Isaac Fernandez, 5, 6, and 7, to lead off this inning for the Oilers. Musil in as the DH for this game, and this pitch by Krogan delivered to the outside evens the count at 1-1.
Musil with just some raw power at the plate, and I'd like to see him put one out.
Certainly has been capable of that, just hasn't been able to put a full charge into one over the fence this season, as the pitch is outside here on a breaking ball from Krogan. 2-1 is the count. Musil still tied for second in the ABL in RBIs at 20, alongside Finn Leach, and Musil hits one towards the gap in right center field, but right into the glove of Jack Caron, who did a great job adjusting to that baseball while it was on the fly, and he's able to get the out.
And yeah, that's just another terrifically hit ball by this Oilers offense. I thought that was in the gap, but like you said, a good read from Caron, able to get back and make the grab. Unfortunate for Musil.
Shane Cannon comes to the plate for the Oilers, and looks like so far Jack Caron in this Pilots outfield has come to play today. Shane Cannon back in the lineup once again. He's struggled a little bit recently as far as his appearances at the plate, but make no mistake about it, still very much can do some damage to this Pilots defense, as this pitch is delivered high for ball number 1. Cannon with a 183 average, 15 hits, and 10 RBIs on the season. Got off to a red-hot start in his first few weeks with the Oilers, and he still has the ability to do that once again, as Krogan delivers this one toward the inside corner, and the count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, like you said, Cannon started off the season red hot. Unfortunately, he's come off that a little bit here recently, but looking to bounce back and finish the season strong.
And dry spells are just a part of hitting. It's going to happen to everybody, and we've seen it happen for different Oilers hitters at times, and they end up coming back even stronger after the fact. So it's nothing to necessarily be worried about, as this is in for a strike by Krogan. A wicked breaking ball toward the inside part of the plate evens the count at 2-2.
Like you said, a nasty pitch from Krogan. Cannon didn't like the call, I don't think, and now he's going to have to protect with 2 strikes, and got to watch for that on this 0-2 count, or 1-2 count. 2-2 count.
2-2 on the way from Krogan, and he delivers this one to the outside for ball 3. I do want to ask Tucker, with these 3 days off for both sides, and they're usually red-hot hitters you'd have coming into a game, do you think that in a way that can change after the fact? And I'll let you answer after this one. 3-2 on the way, and that is going to be delivered just to the outside. Cannon able to work a walk for ball 4. But again, to follow up on that, do you think that because of the circumstances of the lack of games recently, does that change the dynamic for some of these hitters coming into the game?
I think it certainly gives hitters who are struggling, like Shane Cannon and some of these other guys, to have that reset that they need and not just be back on the field every single day. And hopefully they can use that to turn what their momentum has been around. It's also kind of unfortunate for the hitters who were red hot. I'm thinking of Mark Nellis and Hassan Claver, a few of these other guys. Hopefully they can stay in the mode that they were in before this 3-day break.
Fernandez fouls this one off to the right side of the ballpark. Count goes to 0-1. Isaac is working as the catcher once again for the Oilers, and he's been coming on strong recently towards the back half of this regular season. 293 average, 17 total hits, 3 RBIs on the year, and he has really made a strong presence so far with the Oilers in the month of July. 0-1 with Cannon over at first, and Fernandez softly hits this one over towards the third baseman. Dotson throws to first base and gets it for a 5-3 and out number 2.
Yeah, that was a good play by Dotson coming across. I thought that ball might be hit slow enough to leg out an infield single. It was just a matter of if Dodson could cut it off before Verhamy got to it, and that's exactly what happened. Dodson able to get 1 out of that. And now everything in this inning falls on the shoulders of Brady Brown with a runner in scoring position.
Shane Cannon is now at second after advancing on the 5-3, trying to become the first run of the day for the Oilers. And here comes Brady Brown, who's been pretty underrated, I'd say, at the plate so far this year, but he's going to be feeling that one. A high hit by pitch. Looked like it hit him right behind the neck towards the top of the back, but looks no worse for wear as he heads over to first with a hit by pitch.
Yeah, I'm sure Brady Brown will take it, and now he hands off the responsibility of scoring cannon from second base to the newbie, Kyler Hoover, who just flew in. He played one game before this break, and now with a chance to prove to himself and to his teammates why he's here.
Runners at first and second. Hoover looking for his first hit in the Alaska Baseball League, and as an Oiler, watches a fastball by Krogan go by for a strike. Against Matt Sue a few days ago, he reached on a walk in his very first plate appearance, but also flew a couple of balls out to center field. We'll see if he can find even more success here. 0-1 on the way. This is delivered to the outside on another Krogan breaking ball. He's been working both the inside and outside corners of the plate on some of these breaking balls, and the count's at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to the man from Searcy, Arkansas, Kyler Hoover. And he smartly stays away from this low pitch by Krogan, count at 2-1. Glacier Pilots are 6-19 on the season, Oilers 17-14. Pilots have been eliminated officially from playoff contention, so at this point it's all about playing for pride and bragging rights for them. For the Oilers, still very much in the mix of the top of the World Championship Series conversation, and if they're able to sweep the doubleheader tonight, they'll be in a great spot to make it to that title series.
Yeah, definitely a big doubleheader tonight, but also a big game against the Miners tomorrow, one of the other, if not the other top team in the ABL.
Matsu currently first in the Alaska Baseball League as that's delivered for a strike, and the count goes to 3-2. Chugiak also above the Oilers at the moment. The Bucks are in fourth, but all of these teams separated by at most a game and a half. Payoff pitch. This one hit up the middle on a chopper over to the shortstop Hammy, throws to first and gets it there in time for 6-3. So again, the Oilers get 2 men on base, but are unable to cash in, and once again the Pilots slam the door from any Oilers runs. Bottom half of the second is coming up in just a moment. We'll see what the Oilers can do defensively when we return on ESPN.
Great news, Kenai. The Central Peninsula Kenai Health Center is expanding to better serve our community. We're proud to once again offer lab services, screening mammography, and bone density screenings all in one convenient location right here in Kenai. We're proud to bring these important services back to the Kenai community because everyone deserves access to quality health care close to home. Learn more at cpgh.org or call 907-714-4495. Central Peninsula Kenai Health Center, compassionate, personalized health care close to home.
Thinking about a new place to land here on the Kenai Peninsula? At Ashman Krause Real Estate, we believe real estate should feel clear, calm, and personal from the very first conversation. Whether you're buying your first home, moving across town, or preparing to sell, we guide you through every step with local knowledge and genuine care. Ashman Krause Real Estate at Jack White Real Estate, guiding you home with care.
Back here at Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska, the crossroads of the world, and what could be one of the final times that the Oilers play at Mulcahy Baseball Stadium this season. The Oilers currently in a deadlock at 0-0 between themselves and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots after another scoreless top half of the second inning on the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard. But again, 2 men on base for the Oilers, just not quite able to cash in, Tucker.
Yeah, the Oilers just swinging the bat well, seeing their pitches, just like you said, haven't been able to put anybody across the plate. 3 runners left on base. Obviously, that 1 runner left on that double play line drive up the middle. So just some misfortune for the Oilers a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. But Cineris from the mound has been cooked easily through that first inning and looking to continue that here in the second.
Delivers this pitch to the outside for ball 1. Got a 1-2-3 inning against the Glacier Pilots in the bottom of the first. Jake Haruki is at the plate. The left fielder from Japan is trying to see if he can do some damage against Evan Cineris. The 1-0 on the way, and Haruki swings and misses at this one, and the count evens at 1-1. Currently plays for Orange Coast College and played for Woodbridge High School. Has roots in Japan, but grew up in Irvine, California. Great baseball center. 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball is delivered for a strike here, and the count goes to 1-2.
That was a great pitch from Cineris inside and managed to make it slide just into the zone. Not really much Haruki can do about that unless he sees it well ahead of time and pulls it down the line. So terrific pitch from Cineris.
Yeah, one of the first breaking balls we've seen from him today. reminiscent of what Krogan has done so far, as this pitch is high and outside, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oilers in their black shirts today with gray pants. Glacier Pilots all white tonight. Classic uniforms for them in this final matchup, or one of the final 2 matchups of the regular season. Here's a high fly ball over to right field. Austin Claver wants it, and he will not have to do too much to get it. It's out number 1.
Yeah, it's a pretty routine pop-up to the right side. As you said, the Pilots in their all-white jerseys, but it's throwing my eyes just a little bit. It looks like the jersey is just a little bit of a different shade of white than the pants. What are you seeing?
I can see what you're talking about with that. It may be a very slight difference. Of course, we're up here in the press box where sometimes noticing things can be a little bit more difficult from where we're at, or colors look different because of the tinted windows. But I think I see what you're talking about as Cineres delivers a strike and the count's at 0-1.
It seems like the jerseys might be just a little off-white while the pants are dead white, but it could just be my eyes, or maybe I'm just a little bit of OCD coming through. I don't know.
Nick Cortines is at the plate, fouls this one off to the right side, and the count's at 0-2. Nick Cortines is working as the catcher for the Glacier Pilots. Anchorage right now towards the bottom in most statistical categories in the Alaska Baseball League, but again, still a lot of talent on this team, and that's something you definitely don't want to take for granted, as Cineres delivers a breaking ball to the outside for ball 1. Anchorage, though, has been absolutely given the worst of possible luck in the ABL this year. They've lost a lot of players, whether it be injury, early departures, whatever the case is. They do not have a lot of their key pieces that they had at the start of the year, and that's contributed to the 6-19 record, as this is a fly ball foul to the right side by Cortines. Count goes to 1-2. They lost Antonio Gianni recently to injury, and that's an unfortunate loss for them. They also lost their closer Mason Timmick, so they've been trying to pull it together without some of the key pieces they had at the start of the year. 1-2 from Cineres. Here's a fly ball delivered out to center field. Nellis, ranging underneath in left center, makes the catch for out 2.
Yep, another good fly out, and Cineres doing a good job of getting ahead of these hitters, making them swing the bat, and so far he's induced 5 outs, and none of those were by the strikeout. So doing a good job of just keeping in the zone, trusting his defense, and getting those outs, which is exactly what he's done.
Out number 2 as Logan Strong comes to the plate. The first baseman out of Spalding University and Louisville, Kentucky, is at the plate here against Evan Cineres with 2 outs here in this bottom of the second, and Cineres dials up a fastball to bring the count to 0-1.
And I think as we'll see the game go on, you'll see Cineres tune it up a little bit and start going for those strikeouts as the game progresses. But a good job early of just kind of keeping his arm warm while not putting it all out on the field yet.
Logan Strong, a former number 5 overall catcher in the state of Kentucky in high school. 0-1 from Cineres, softly hit ball over to short, picked up by Hoover, throws it on to first, and he gets an easy 6-3 for out number 2. Evan Cineres wheeling and dealing from the mound, and the Oilers defense backing him up. Another 1-2-3 inning on the Pilots, and that does it for the second inning. 0-0 is still your score. When we come back, it'll be Tucker Blau taking over play-by-play for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings here from Mulcahy, and we'll see if the Oilers can get some runs on the board. Back in just a moment on ESPN.
Yes, Steam on Wheels does install lift stations. Generally, a lift station is required with high groundwater or some type of elevational difference that's going to require a pressurized mound or bed. But they do provide an excellent sewer system when installed correctly. Conventional septics are the preferred way to go. But when you have high groundwater or an elevational difference where you've got to pump it up a hill to do it conventionally, a lift station may be the only way to go. Give us a call at Steam on Wheels, 907-262-3240.
Uh-oh, that summer road trip isn't going far without Dan's Automotive. They've been saving Alaskans from roadside meltdowns with quick tune-ups, oil changes, and brakes that actually stop when you want them to. Dan's Automotive, located at the Napa Parts Building, is the secret ingredient to any successful adventure. Call 907-420-0416 and let Dan fix what your cousin thought he could. Dan's Automotive. No duct tape required.
Oilers bringing up the top of the order here in Mulcahy. Of course, the top of the order is brought to you by State Farm agent Christy Babcock. Auto insurance, homeowners, life insurance, and investing opportunities with locations in Kenai and Soldotna. Call today at 907-283-7116 for Kenai, or if you're in Soldotna, 907-262-4440. Remember, like a good neighbor, Christy and her team are there for you. Top of the lineup for the Oilers, Brooks Hassenclaver, Mark Nellis, and Nolan Gra, who singled, and lined into a double play, respectively. Looking for even better at-bats here the second time facing Krogan in the third inning.
Yeah, the Oilers lineup had some pretty good success in the top half of the first inning, couldn't cash in. But the second time around, this Oilers lineup is usually even more dangerous. We'll see if that holds true against Krogan.
First pitch to Hassenclaver, well outside for ball 1-0. Hassenclaver was swinging a hot bat before going into the break. We were talking earlier about whether that momentum would carry over into these final three games, and Hassenclaver started off tonight with a single, so that could possibly be the case as he takes strike one, 1-1.
Yeah, the ABL leader in both RBIs and home runs at 24 and 6 respectively. He's been on a heater as of late, but after 3 days of rest, will that still be the same?
The 1-1 delivery just misses for ball 2 as Hassenclaver works himself into a hitter's count. 2-1 the count. Hassenclaver, of course, singled back in that first inning, a ground ball that worked his way just past the extended mitt of Zach Hefner, and ball 3 outside, and Hassenclaver really putting himself in a favorable position here against Krogan.
Well, let's not forget he's also the ABL leader in walks forced, and he may be on the verge of forcing another one right here.
3-1 delivery, sure enough, outside, and Hassenclaver extends his lead in the ABL with walks, and he will reach first base for free. Mark Nellis stepping up to the plate.
Number 39 for Hassenclaver this season, bordering on 40, and again, he's probably going to get well past 40 on a shortened season. Just unbelievable what we've seen from this guy, and probably the best plate discipline in the ABL right now.
Remember, there's less than 40 games in a season, so Hassenclaver working more than one walk per game. And the first pitch is going to run inside on Nellis. Looks like it caught his wrist, and he's in some pain. I don't know if they're going to say he pulled back the bat in time or not. Right now, of course, I
think Nellis believes that was a hit by pitch.
Of course, the main issue here is if Nellis' wrist is okay. It doesn't look like there's any trainers attending to him directly. The question right now is whether or not it was a hit by pitch. I think they're saying he didn't pull back in time. Dawson, of course, is arguing his point energetically.
Yeah, Coach Dawson making a case to the umpiring crew here tonight, and he's going to talk to the home plate umpire about it. Coach needs to be careful in this situation to make sure that he doesn't do anything to get himself thrown out. But obviously he wants to demonstrate his case and show his emotion, and can understand why if you think your player suffered a hit by pitch there.
Yeah, you always love to see the coach defending your team, and that's a good thing for the whole team to see. It looks like they're going to make Nellis stay at the plate, however. Might take a second to walk it off or check his wrist out as he heads back into the dugout.
Yeah, and what they'll do in this situation, if Mark can't continue, they'll bring out somebody else to obviously go for him if it comes down to that. But they want to make sure that he's in the best condition that he can be right now, and looks like they are going to bring in a pinch hitter for him.
That looks like that's going to be the case, and that's unfortunate for the Oilers. Mark Nellis, one of the best hitters on this lineup, coming in for him is going to be
Wyatt Bundy.
Wyatt Bundy, that's right. Tall, lanky, plays outfield. I'm sure he'll take over in center field for Nellis. And it looks like he's strapping up to bat here, and what's now an 0-1 count if they say he didn't pull back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, of course, like you said, losing Nellis in this lineup, obviously a tough loss, not only overall, but for this game. He already had a single in this contest, and Mark's been so good overall at the plate this year. Hate to see that, and hopefully he'll be able to shake it off soon enough and get back out there.
Bundy is going to be a left-handed hitter working from the other side of the box than Nellis was, so at least a different look for Cam Krogan if you're looking for a silver lining somewhere, as Bundy is now going to be stepping up to the plate again in an 0-1 count already, and with a runner on first base, so kind of a difficult spot for the Oilers to have to take a break in the middle of the game when they're trying to put together their first run. Hassenclaver on first base, the first pitch to Bundy as he squares around to bunt, fouls it back to the backstop, just got a little on top of it, and the count runs to 0-2.
Wyatt comes into the game with a .290 average. He's been struck out 7 times this year in 71 at-bats. 9 hits and 2 RBIs. Maybe not the most explosive stats, but he's been a pretty solid hitter more often than not whenever he's been at the plate this year, and can usually get you a hit or two a game.
0-2 delivery to Bundy, stays just outside for ball 1. Good take from Bundy with a pitch that was relatively close, and the count runs to 1-2. Hassan Claver, of course, leads off first base after working that leadoff walk. Now a ball blooped shallowly to the right side, flipped over to second by the second baseman, throw to first, not in time, so the Oilers managed to avoid the double play. Bundy just barely legging it out on what was a solid play by this Pilots infield.
Yeah, it was, and they had a really good chance to turn two there. Good play by Hefner to get it over to Verhamy. Again, it's all about timing, and because that was hit a little bit slower off the bat of Bundy, it really didn't give the Pilots the time they needed to get Bundy out. So it ends up being just one out here in this top of the third, which is welcome for the Oilers.
Yeah, the Oilers will certainly take that. That was, like you said, a hit right up the middle, almost perfect to be a double play. Thankfully, just came off the bat not quite as fast as I expected it to, and managed to give just enough time for Bundy to reach first. First pitch to the next hitter, Graw is taken for ball one, and then another one misses for ball two. 2-0 the count.
Yeah, Nolan, of course, at the center of attention for some of these bigger schools throughout the country with the stuff that he's been doing, not just this summer, but for South Dakota State.
2-0 pitch. Graw check swings, is able to hold back, and the count runs to 3-0.
Took a couple of visits, of course, with some big-time schools, and now back here with the Oilers trying to see if he can do some big-time stuff.
3-0 delivery right down the pipe for strike one. Graw put some good wood on the ball back in the first inning. A line drive up the middle is just unfortunate. It turned into the worst-case scenario for the Oilers when Verhamy was able to snag it, flip it to second to work a double play. Now a runner goes on the pitch and it's fouled back and out of play. So a 3-0 count turns into full count as Krogan able to come back on Graw.
Yeah, that's good discipline by Cam Krogan in that situation to force the foul ball and overcome what was a 3-0 count on Graw. Of course, we know Nolan wants some redemption after that foul ball, or after the double play, excuse me. We'll see what he's got here.
Bundy returns back to first base, and the delivery from Krogan lined left side, and again out of play. That's actually off the light pole out there behind the left field bleachers, and the count remains at 3-2.
That's a pretty neat trick shot, and that's something you probably couldn't do 9 out of 10 times, so no, it doesn't count for much, but it's pretty epic to see that from Nolan.
The 3-2 count. Krogan comes set for the payoff pitch, and it's lined deep to center field. Ranging back is Kunis, and he's not going to get there. It's actually going to get by him. It's going to take them forever to get to the ball. They're going to send Bundy all the way around third, and he's going to score easily, and the Oilers take a 1-0 lead on a double in the left center gap off the bat of Nolan Graw.
And that ball twisted in midair towards left center field. I'm not sure if it was the spin off the bat or maybe some wind, but whatever the case, it went from going dead center to left center in a hurry, and Cooper Kunis couldn't adjust that quickly. Tried to get to the baseball, but couldn't. What a great shot from Nolan Graw, and what an RBI double to get the Oilers on the scoreboard here in the third.
Huge hit off the bat of Nolan Graw. Like you said, the center fielder Kunis, I think, was thinking he could get it there to make the grab, and then when he couldn't, it got by him, and his momentum carried him all the way into left field. It was actually up to the left fielder Haruki to try to get back to that one. And the first pitch to Lusky is fouled back and away. There's still just one out and a runner in scoring position. Oilers now working with the lead 1-0.
And you just felt like this was a matter of time before this happened. With what the Oilers had been doing offensively coming into this inning, you knew that at some point they were going to be able to capitalize, and they finally were able to put all the pieces together, and there's still maybe more coming.
Now a bloop shot towards second base, picked up by the second baseman Hefner. His throw to first base is in time to record the out. The runner does advance to third, so Bundy now 90 feet away with 2 outs. Owen Musil, tied for second for RBI lead in the ABL, steps up with a chance to add to that.
Yeah, Graw able to advance to third on that 4-3. Thankfully, another slowly hit ball by Lusky to not get the Pilots any chance at a double play. It would have been tough regardless in that spot, but still just 2 outs with Musil at the plate.
Owen Musil stepping into the box for the second time tonight. He's going to take strike one at the bottom of the zone. Lined out to right field, put good bat on it in the right center gap. Unfortunately, Karen made a good read on it, able to come back and record the out before the ball could reach the turf. Now the 0-1 delivery from Krogan. Swung through for strike two, so Musil falling behind early.
Yeah, Owen still with the third best batting average on this Oilers squad. 29 hits, 20 RBIs on the season. Trying to get second in the league and runs batted in all to himself. He can get one into the outfield here.
Bundy leads off third base. Graw leads off third base, and the pitch is inside for ball one. 1-2 the count. Krogan was able to work through trouble in the first and second innings, but the Oilers able to come through with getting a runner on base, Hassan Claver, via the walk, a fielder's choice, and a double later, and they are in the lead. Now a line shot to the left side, picked up by the third baseman. The throw across the diamond to Strong in time to record the third out. Musil just couldn't get quite enough on that to get it through the left side. Nevertheless, Nolan Graw gives the Oilers the lead. An RBI double in the left center field gap. The Oilers now lead 1-0. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. When we come back on ESPN 96.9, 1140, and online at RadioKenai.com.
Fall is just around the corner. Are you ready for your next chapter? At Kenai Peninsula College, we're ready for you. Registration for the fall semester is now open, offering the classes you need close to home. And big news, our residence hall is now open. You can once again experience full campus life, build lifelong friendships, and live where you learn while taking classes at KPC or any UA campus. Don't wait. Secure your classes in your room today at kpc.alaska.edu. Find your place at KPC.
Looking for the toughest trailers and equipment on the Kenai? Head to White Spruce Trailer Sales on K Beach Road, your local dealer for TYM tractors. That's right, they have TYM tractors and implements. Anything from TYM pallet forks, box blades, snow removal, and more. Built to work as hard as you do. From sales to service, they've got the parts you need to keep your equipment running strong all year long. Speaking of service, White Spruce offers a full-service shop with special discounts for commercial companies because supporting local businesses matter.
Mulcahy Stadium here in Anchorage, Alaska, finally able to get some ball after 3 straight days of rainouts and postponements, which ended up being cancellations for this Oilers squad. Game scheduled against the Bucks and the Pilots. Thankfully able to get both the games in against the Pilots here tonight.
Yeah, it's great to see just the Oilers back on the field after that long break, and love the dorms over at Anchorage, but I will say we're just glad to be back over here playing some baseball today, and there's nothing quite like it. Love being out here in Alaska for these games. Do want to give an update. The Bucks Miners game that was scheduled for tonight has been canceled, so this is going to be the only action we see in the ABL here tonight.
We've got 2 games on the slate, so stick around for game 2, which is first pitch should be about 30 to 40 minutes after this game is concluded. The first pitch here to the leadoff hitter, Davis Weeks, for the Pilots is going to be low for ball 1. Sonaris yet to allow a base runner through 2 innings. Now works here in the third against the number 7 hitter, Weeks. The 1-0 delivery as he kicks his leg and delivers fouled back to the stop, 1-1.
And we do expect to see Davis Weeks work as a pitcher in the second game. That's what I was told by some of my friends with the Glacier Pilots. So Weeks working both sides of the baseball today, it looks like, and we'll see how he's able to do as an arm. But right now it's about trying to get the tying run on base.
The 1-1 delivery from Sonaris finds the zone for strike 2, and Weeks, I mean, he knows, as a pitcher, I guess, he knows the value of getting ahead in the count, and likewise the disadvantage it is to fall behind. Now works in a 1-2 count against Sonaris.
Really good consistency by Sonaris so far on these breaking balls. Delivers this one at the outside just a little bit, but I've really liked his positioning so far in a lot of these pitches, and it's helped him to get ahead in the count against these batters.
Sonaris now ready for the 2-2 against Weeks. Gets his sign, now comes set at the chest. Leg kick and the pitch. Outside again for ball 3, and Weeks able to work the count back from a 1-2, and now has worked it full.
Yeah, Davis Weeks trying to get some experience with the Glacier Pilots in a big way this season. From Michigan State, trying to get prepped for Big Ten play. Good chance against Sonaris tonight.
Payoff pitch. Just misses. Weeks offered, but did not quite go around, and so he's going to be on board with a leadoff walk. Again, Sonaris' first base runner of the game.
Yeah, and that's one that, again, very close, kind of bang-bang. You can see that going as a strike or a walk, but it looks like it was just outside the plate, so Sonaris is unable to get that strikeout, and all of a sudden the Pilots had that base runner on. Now we'll see if they can build on that momentum.
Now the righty Dodson steps up to the plate. Weeks now leads off first base. Leg kick and the delivery from Sonaris finds the zone, a good bit of the zone for strike 1, 0-1.
And again, so far for a guy who's only started one game this season, you wouldn't know it with how Cineras has stayed composed so far, but this is going to be a bit of a different test with a runner on base and no outs. This is where you got to dig a little bit deeper if you're Cineras, but I've got no doubt that he can do that.
And he's doing a good job here with the runner on first and less than no outs. You're looking for the double play or a strikeout. You don't want to advance that runner. And so he's doing a good job of attacking the zone, allowing Dodson to swing the bat, and he's got ahead of him 0-2 right here. Cineras ready for the 0-2 pitch. That's very close, just misses for ball 1-2.
Trying to get Dodson to chase as he chases that outside corner, just missed it that time. That's good discipline by Dodson and a close call for Cineras.
Bundy, of course, now in center field, or so. That's what Presto says anyway, so I'm assuming so. Although out there it looks like he's in left field, so I don't know. What does it look like to you?
Yeah, it looks like they shifted Bundy and Brown as best I can tell. Looks like Bundy is in left with Brown now in center, so we'll see if they correct that soon enough, but that's the way it looks to me as well.
2-2 delivery now to Ryan Dodson. Is going to be fouled back and out of play. So he fell behind 0-2, takes 2 consecutive balls, now fouls one off. This is just a good battle from Ryan Dodson against Evan Cineras, who's been pitching very well from the mound tonight.
Yes, he absolutely has, but also a good job, like you said, by Dodson to hang in there. Really good war of attrition between pitcher and batter, and see who gets the better of it.
2-2 delivery, finds the zone for strike 3. Dodson caught looking. That's a big pitch from Cineras after allowing the leadoff man aboard. Jack Karen now stepping into the box after just a huge strikeout for Evan.
Boy, was it ever, and that's the first strikeout for either team so far in this game. Both pitchers have been getting it done in other ways with their defense backing them up. That's also the fastball that Cineras was looking to make work against weeks before. Didn't get it last time, but gets it this time.
Now, still not out of the woods with a runner on first and 1 out. Jack, his first pitch to Karen, finds the zone for strike 1. So again, doing a good job of really going after these hitters. Now back on the mound, ready for the 0-1 pitch. He's going to get his sign from Fernandez, who's working behind the plate for the Oilers tonight. Just inside for ball 1, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Jack Karen hasn't played quite as much as some of these other Oilers batters, or Pilots batters, I should say, but taking on a bigger role towards the end of this regular season, trying to make the most of it against the Oilers.
1-1 delivery from Cineras to the right side and foul for strike 2. Without the pregame show, you didn't get your starting lineups. I'll work around the fielders for you in this Oilers squad. Left to right is going to be Bundy, Brady Brown, and then Brooks Hassenclaver. And then on the infield, you've got Nolan Graw, Kyler Hoover, Shane Cannon, and Luke Lusky. Battery tonight for the Oilers is going to be Evan Cineras and Isaac Fernandez. And the pitch from Cineras here is tapped foul just barely to stay alive.
Oh, and it was by the slimmest of margins as well. Just barely clipped the end of the bat off of Karen that time. Thought initially it was a strikeout, but very slim contact. We'll see if Cineras tries to get him to chase again on this 1-2, but certainly right now in the driver's seat.
Still a 1-2 count. Cineras checks the runner at first. Now the delivery inside for a ball, and the Pilots just seem to be putting together better at bats against Cineras here in this third inning. Even though this is the bottom third of the order, they haven't seen him yet. Maybe they learned from their teammates.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that the Pilots have been a little bit more patient with some of these bottom batters, and I think that that's helped them out. Watching what Cineras has been doing.
The 2-2 inside again. Cineras, also, it started to drizzle just a little bit. I wonder if the ball's getting slick for Cineras or not. Usually the pitcher's pretty good about trying to keep it dry so they can maintain that grip, but nevertheless the count runs full.
Yeah, a small little bit of drizzle shouldn't affect things too much, but maybe could slightly affect that grip.
The payoff pitch from Cineras with a runner on first and 1 out. Fouled back, tapped back rather, towards the backstop, and the count remains at 3-2.
And that makes life harder for Cineras because, again, he has to go deeper and deeper into his bag to try to see what he can do to get Karen out here. And if Jack is able to keep making contact, it's going to make it tougher and tougher and keep running up that pitch count as well.
This is the third quality at-bat against Cineras in as many hitters here in the third inning. Cineras ready to pitch his second consecutive payoff, and it's grounded down the third base line and foul again, so Karen is going to live to see another pitch.
Refusing to give up right now. Yet again, makes some solid contact. looked as though for a second that one might go fair, but just curved to the outside of the third base bag. We're all on top of it either way. But again, we're going to try the 3-2.
Yeah, as much as Cineras doesn't want to throw another pitch to Karen, he's very glad that wasn't fair on down the third base line. Now Karen flies one out to left field. Ranging in is Bundy, fresh into the game. He's going to make the one-handed grab in left field and send the runner Weeks back to first base for a big second out.
Seen a lot of weak fly balls from the Pilots so far off their bats against Cineras, and I think that's a testament to the kind of pitching that Cineras is using right now, forcing this weaker contact. Pilots not quite able to figure it out so far, and it's allowed Cineras to keep them at bay.
It's going to bring up Henry Verhamy, the top of the lineup for the Glacier Pilots. Steps into the right-hand side, takes an off-speed high and inside for ball one. Of course, the top of the lineup is brought to you by State Farm agent Christy Babcock. Put Christy and her team at the top of your lineup. 1-0 the count. Cineras with a runner still on first base, now with 2 outs after retiring consecutive hitters after allowing that leadoff walk. Delivers outside for ball 2.
Yeah, trying to get that outside corner against Verhamy, who again grounded out to short his last time up. Curious to see if the Pilots continue to make adjustments as these guys come up for their second time through the order.
The 2-0 swung through by Verhamy for strike one, and the Pilots roster perhaps not the most offensively minded in the ABL, but a leadoff hitter is a leadoff hitter, and you can't take that for granted. Certainly want to get this out here and not allow this inning to progress any longer than it already has. 2-1 delivery, fouled back and away, 2-2.
Yeah, quickly able to get it into a 2-2 after initially falling behind 2-0. Verhamy a little bit late to try to make a play on that. And now if you're the Oilers, you're playing with house money. You just need an out, whether it's on the base path or with a strikeout from Cineras here.
The 2-2 delivery with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Down the middle, swung through, strike 3. A big strikeout from Cineras gets Verhamy, one of the top hitters in this Pilots squad. Strands a runner at first base after that leadoff walk. Big inning from Cineras, able to work around a leadoff base runner. We'll head back to the top of the fourth. Oilers bringing up Cannon, Fernandez, and Brown when we come back on ESPN Radio.
Looking for a solid job with great pay and room to grow? Dam Construction and Roofing is hiring roofers and general laborers across the Kenai Peninsula. They offer competitive pay based on experience, overtime opportunities, paid sick leave, and full-time seasonal work. No experience? No problem. If you're dependable, motivated, and ready to learn, they'll provide the opportunity. Join one of the Kenai Peninsula's fastest-growing roofing companies. Call 907-262-3996 today or visit dambuilt.com. Dam Construction and Roofing, building careers one roof at a time.
When trying to find a dentist, it can be challenging, and Ridgeway Family Dentistry knows this. Ridgeway is the new state-of-the-art facility offering you pain-free dentistry and is family-friendly. Even if you don't have time to have multiple appointments, Ridgeway Family Dentistry can complete all your treatment in one easy visit. At Ridgeway Family Dentistry, they know how important it is to have a smile and know how that can change your life. For your next dental appointment, call Ridgeway Family Dentistry at 262-8404.
Welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium. Cam Krogan back on the mound for his 4th inning of work. Now he's allowed 1 run over 3 innings. Let's see if I can find his stat line. 3 hits, 2 walks, so not his best outing, but he's been able to work through some traffic, which is always important. Oilers lead 1-0.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting game so far between these two teams, to say the least. Very defensive-minded on both sides, and if you're going to score a run, this feels like the kind of game where you have to be a little bit more opportunistic, and that's what we're seeing from both sides so far. Oilers did cash in that run with Nolan Graw's RBI double. We'll see if this bottom part of the order can do some damage against Krogan here.
Leading off the 4th inning for the Oilers is going to be Shane Cannon. He takes a ball inside. Cannon walked and got stranded at second base back in the 2nd inning, and he's looking to break a little bit of a slump he was in before that 3-day break. Ready for the 1-0 pitch. Also misses for ball 2. Cannon, I guess he'll get on base any way he can, and he's already worked a walk and now a 2-0 count.
Yeah, I saw on the chat that some people were talking about the wrong lineup in the system. That is not us who's controlling that right now, but we'll see if at any point that gets corrected. But right now, we do have it, at least verbally, that we can tell you the right lineup, so just keep that in mind as well, folks.
The 2-0 to Cannon. Grounded left side and foul. The count runs to 2-1. Shane Cannon, one of the top hitters in this Oilers squad to start off the season. We talked about this before, looking to turn around what's been a little bit of a slump here recently. But still, he at least has the making of a very good on-base percentage average. Now lines one through the left side. That's through for a base hit. Exactly what he needed. He's on base for the second time tonight. And the Oilers have their leadoff hitter on base for the fourth time tonight.
Yeah, he has certainly been increasing that batting average with some of the stuff he's done lately. Really nice ground ball through that left side. Again, right past Dotson and Verhamy in the 6-5 hole. And just like that, the Oilers have a runner on base. And again, these are the kinds of cash-ins that you need early in an inning. And right now, the Oilers are getting it with Cannon.
Austin Claver led off the first with a single. Owen Musil, I guess he lined out. So 3 out of 4 innings, the Oilers have got a runner on base to lead off the inning. Cannon able to continue that trend. Fernandez takes strike 1 to start off his at-bat. He grounded out at third in his last plate appearance. Fernandez steps back into the box, ready for the 0-1. Cam Krogan on the rubber, now delivers and fouled back and away. Fernandez quickly falling to a 0-2.
Yeah, and the Oilers, obviously, they don't want to leave too many more men on base. I feel like this is the kind of game where you need a 2 or 3 run deficit to feel secure about yourself, even with how well the pitching has been performing so far. You want to make sure to get a couple more runs in this inning if you can help it.
Now, pickoff move towards first base. Cannon did not have very big of a lead. It was more of just a stall tactic maybe from Krogan. The count remains at 0-2. Big pitch coming up. Isaac Fernandez catching tonight for the Oilers, batting 7th. Brady Brown waits on deck, and now a fly ball towards center field. Ranging out is the shortstop, Verhamy, to make the grab and retire the first out of the inning. And that looked like it might be trouble for a second with the way Cooper Kunis was sprinting in from center, but Verhamy able to make the play.
Yeah, that was all about the hang time of that baseball, and it hung up long enough for Verhamy to be able to get underneath it and make the catch. If it had gotten down a little bit quicker, probably would have been a nice bloop shot for Fernandez, but unfortunately that was not the case.
Stepping into the box now, the right side, Brady Brown, left fielder, and he gets hit by a pitch for the second time tonight. He's seen a total of 2 pitches, and both drilled him on his right shoulder, and he might be sore there tonight.
Yeah, he might be, and that's so odd. The first pitch he sees both times ends up as a hit by a pitch against the same guy who hasn't thrown a hit by a pitch to anybody else, so I don't know what's going on. But, hey, we'll certainly take the guy at first. Just hope that Brady Brown will be able to overcome that.
You didn't happen to catch a pregame falling out between Krogan and Brown, did you?
I didn't hear of any sort of animosity. I'd assume it's just probably a couple of, as Bob Ross would say, happy accidents.
Kyler Hoover now bunts one down the first base line, and he actually kicked the ball before it went foul. That's unfortunate for the Oilers. The ball was twisting foul. Hoover hustling down the first base line after the bunt, accidentally nudged the ball with his foot, and that's enough to send him back to the dugout for out number 2.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate because, again, like you said, it probably would have been a routine foul ball, and unfortunately, Hoover trying to make up speed and get over to first base ends up kicking the ball as a result, and that's just how quickly the dynamic can change on an inning because you're talking about a 1-out situation still with runners at first and second, and instead that's out number 2, and you put yourself in a little bit more of an unfortunate circumstance.
And I guess that goes down as retired on runner's interference or just a ground out. I don't know. How do you score that, Dylan?
I would say runner's interference probably will be the official call, but either way it's out too.
Second out in the books for the Pilots, and yet another freak accident for the Oilers that allows the Pilots to get a big step closer to escaping the inning unscathed. There's still 2 runners on base, and Brooks Hasenclaver trying to make them pay, which if you want somebody to make a team pay, Hasenclaver is the guy to do it.
Yeah, certainly is your guy, and he's already reached base twice tonight on a single and a walk. Rain coming down a little bit more judiciously now here at Mulcahy. We'll see if that has any effect.
The 1-0 finds the zone for strike 1, 1-1 the count. I guess it wouldn't be runner's interference. It goes down as batter's interference.
Batter's interference, yeah, not runner's interference.
So 1-1 the count on Hasenclaver. 2 outs now recorded. Runners in first and second. And now a pickoff move towards second base. Diving back safely is Shane Cannon.
By the way, this top of the order brought to you by State Farm agent Christy Babcock. Protect yourself and your assets by putting Christy and her team at the top of your lineup as well.
Austin Claver still in a 1-1 count. Grounded right side, picked up by the first baseman, hustles over to first base, flips it to Krogan, who is covering first. That's going to be enough to retire the side. Austin Claver puts good bat on it, hits it very hard, just unfortunately right at the first baseman, Logan Strong. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. The Pilots escape trouble yet again, leaving 2 runners on base. Zach Kiefner, Cooper Kunis, and Jake Haruki stepping up to the plate when we come back on ESPN Radio.
The fish are in, the trails are open, and summer is short. If your family is complete and you've been considering vasectomy, now is a great time to get it done. Dr. Alvarez can perform your no-needle, no-scalpel vasectomy in Soldotna or Homer. This is a safe, quick, affordable, and nearly painless procedure with minimal downtime. You'll be out enjoying an Alaska summer, if we ever get one, before you know it. And really, what better use of a rain day? Call 907-235-1010 for more information or to schedule your no-needle, no-scalpel vasectomy.
If you've been involved in an accident or had a catastrophic injury, negotiating with insurance companies on your own is fraught. Insurance companies want to maximize their profits, and that means minimizing a fair and just resolution to you. They don't want to pay for your medical bills. They don't want to pay for your lost work. They don't want to pay for your pain and suffering. Expert insurance negotiators and adjusters will try to minimize your claim at every turn. It's important to have an attorney to get the recovery that you deserve. At Earhart, Elsner & Cooley, we can help you get that fair and true value.
Tucker Blau and Dylan Simmons bringing you live to Mulcahy Stadium. Caleb Manuel back in the studio for us. And not to state the obvious, but the Oilers could certainly use some runs here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, they certainly could coming up in that top half of the 5th inning. Obviously, some unfortunate circumstances and unlucky circumstances, to be blunt, kept them away from runs in the top half of the 4th. One thing they've been able to lean on so far, though, has been this tremendous defense and the tremendous pitching from Evanson Ares. 2 strikeouts in that 3rd inning. We'll see if he can keep that pace up. Obviously, you feel good about the 1-run lead, but you don't want to put all of your eggs in that basket. You want to try to contribute if you can, but we'll see if they still have that lead after this bottom of the 4th.
Yes, Evanson Ares looking to protect that 1-run lead, freeze the game where it's at, as pitchers always do. Has not allowed a base hit yet. Did allow 1 base runner via a walk. First pitch is going to get away from Fernandez. That's high and away for ball 1. That was a walk issued to Davis Weeks. He's picked up 2 strikeouts, both coming in the 3rd inning against Ryan Dodson and Henry Verhamy, looking to continue his domination here in the 4th inning. Now working in a 1-0 count against Zach Kiefner, who flew out to left in his first plate appearance, and he's going to take ball 2 high.
We've seen a couple times Evan has gotten behind on a 2-0 count. He's been able to overcome it before. We'll see if he can get that done here, but obviously not an absolutely perfect spot to be in.
2-0 delivery. That's going to find the inside edge for strike 1, and like you said, in a 2-0 count, certainly don't want to let it run to 3-0, so that's a big strike for the right-hander.
Yeah, it certainly is, and the way that he's able to navigate the fastballs and get them lower in the zone and adjust is really impressive to see.
2-1 pitch, swung through for strike 2. Boy, that was a big swing from Zach Kiefner, looking for the fences. Nevertheless, just a strike, 2-2.
Yeah, a lot of fastball pitches from Evanson Ares to start off against Kiefner, and so far it's been effective, especially towards this middle part of the at-bat.
2-2 delivery. Again, Senaris is able to recover from the 2-0 count, and that finds the zone for a called strike 3. Senaris' 3rd strikeout in 4 hitters, and he's really started to dominate really ever since that walk.
Has he ever? And what's been really impressive is how earlier in the game he started off by inducing weak contact, and he talked about it, Tucker. He has started to lean more on the strikeouts in these middle innings, and it's working to perfection. Now 3 total in the last 4 guys he's faced.
First pitch here to the next hitter, Cooper Kunis, is going to be low inside for ball 1, and obviously a complete game is hard. It's a unique stat, hard stat to find, and especially when you're working with young guys here in the ABL. But with a doubleheader and only 7-inning games, today would be the day to do it, as Kunis now takes ball 2, 2-0.
Yeah, he'd love to have the opportunity to do something that nobody else on the Oilers has been able to do this year, and that's pitch a complete game with a victory. But again, he's going to have to make sure that these Pilots bats don't get any sort of momentum in these middle innings to do so.
2-0 delivery, grounded right side, picked up by Lusky. He's going to take it to first himself for 3 unassisted put out, and again, Cineras falls behind 2-0 and is able to crawl out of it.
Yeah, this time induces weak contact on a ground ball. We haven't seen a whole lot of ground balls lately, but this one goes to Lusky, and I really like the adjustment that the first baseman made that time as he was kind of circling around to the baseball. Could have flipped it to Cineras, but I think the right call there was to go for first base yourself and get the out, which he did.
Yeah, even if you can get it to Cineras quicker, if you can beat the runner to first base, there's no reason not to just take it yourself or prevent some freak accident happening on the transition from the first baseman to the pitcher. Delivery high and away for ball 1. Cineras now comes set at the chest, ready for the 1-0 pitch. The leg kick and delivers to the plate. Fouled back for strike 1, 1-1 the count.
That's Jake Haruki at the plate. This is only his 9th at-bat of the season. He's got 1 hit and 1 RBI so far. Man from Orange Coast College, kind of a later addition to this Pilots team and trying to find his groove late in this regular season.
Cineras ready for the 1-1 delivery. Off speed, and Haruki had to wait back on it and popped it up weakly to the right side, and that's going to be an easy grab for the second baseman, Shane Cannon. Works all the way back behind the first base bag to make the grab and retire the side. Another 1-2-3 inning for Cineras. Continues to really just roast this Pilots lineup. We'll head to the top of the 5th. The Oilers now with a chance to extend that lead. When we come back, Wyatt Bundy, Nolan Graw, and Luke Lusky on ESPN Radio.
Hi, this is Justin Ruffridge. There's nothing like a small town. It's real community. And that's one of the reasons I'm raising my family here. It's also why I own and operate Soldotna Professional Pharmacy, because I believe a small town pharmacy is where people get the best care. Our customers aren't just customers, you're our friends and neighbors. Stop by at 299 North Binkley in Soldotna for hometown-friendly service. I'm Justin Ruffridge, and I'm here to serve you.
Looking for fun for the whole family that they will love? Head over to Jumpin' Junction on K Beach Road, the Peninsula's entertainment center for all ages. Play in the arcade, dive into the active VR game room, glow it up with blacklight mini golf, bounce on inflatable fun, and grab a snack at the snack bar. Birthdays, work parties, and so much more. You can book them now at Jumpin' Junction on K Beach Road. Jumpin' Junction, where there's fun for the whole family.
Cam Grogan back on the mound for the Glacier Pilots. Here in the top of the 5th inning, the Oilers trying to extend a 1-0 lead. Grogan has not worked anything even close to a clean inning yet this game. He's allowed at least 2 base runners on in all 4 innings so far, and yet he's only allowed 1 run to cross the plate, so that's a remarkable feat in and of itself.
Yeah, 6 runners left on base for the Oilers so far in this game, and those are some missed opportunities, obviously, against Grogan, but you got to give credit to this Pilots defense and Grogan. Even though they've worked themselves into some jams, they've more often than not found their way out of it, but pretty tough part of the order coming up for Grogan in this Pilots defense here.
Stepping up to the plate for the Oilers is going to be Nolan Graw, who takes a ball 1-0 the count on low and inside. Graw's put 2 good, Wyatt Bundy, I don't know what I'm thinking, fielder's choice in his last at-bat when he came in for Mark Nellis. Now grounds it to the right side, picked up by the first baseman Logan Strong, who records the out on the 3 unassisted. Second time we've seen that in about 3 hitters.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, Mark Nellis taken out earlier on what looked to be a wrist injury on a potential hit by pitch. Haven't seen him since, and hopefully that he'll be able to overcome that and maybe play in the second game today, or at least come back for the Matsu game tomorrow. But obviously, we'll hope to see if he can recover from that soon.
Obviously, when the injury is as recent as it was, like you can't tell how serious it is. It's just a precautionary move to remove him from the game, and hopefully they can get him cleared for the second game, like you said. Nolan Graw takes ball 1. Nolan Graw is actually at the plate this time, I swear. Next pitch finds the zone for strike 1, 1-1 the count.
Only player on either side with an RBI today. Had that RBI double to the gap in left center field. Nolan's been a pretty opportunistic hitter this season, and it paid off for him big time in his last at-bat.
Graw working from the left side. He's put 2 good swings on the ball. Unfortunately, the first one resulted in 2 outs, but could have easily been a RBI double in the gap itself. 1-1 the count. 2-1 the count. Krogan steps back and delivers. Grounded softly up the middle. Coming to grab it is going to be Heatner. Throws across his body, and that's going to get away from the first baseman. A wild throw up and away. Graw going to have to hustle to second as the throw comes in. In time, they're going to say he got into second base. The throw was there well ahead of time. The tag was not applied, and Graw reaches second almost fortunately.
Yeah, and that was all set up by the off-balance throw by Zach Heifner that time, the second baseman. Kind of zipped it up in the air as he jumped for it and just overthrew the first baseman, Logan Strong. And like you said, Graw fortunate to go to second. I don't really blame him for trying to take second base. There was a little hesitation after that missed throw, and I think that may have almost cost him, but able to get on to scoring position for the Oilers in a very fortunate manner. And all of a sudden, Peninsula has been gifted with a great opportunity to bring in a run.
And I can't see from our vantage point here who fielded that throw that went awry. I'm assuming it was the catcher, Cortines, but he made a good throw to second base. The throw was there ahead of Graw sliding in, but the tag, I think, kind of bounced on the turf ahead and then bounced up just enough. Cortines, for him, his glove bounced up off the turf just enough for Graw to slide in underneath. And it looked safe to me. It was just unfortunate for the Pilots as they had the play in their hands. 1 out recorded. Runner now in scoring position. Luke Lusky stepping up to the plate looking for his first hit, and he's going to line one right back to the pitcher. The throw to second base in time. And talk about misfortune for this Oilers offense. It happens for the second time this game. This time it's Graw recorded for the second out.
I mean, my goodness, that's a play that you see maybe once in every 3 or 4 games, and unfortunately it happened at the exact wrong moment, right back to Krogan, and of course the runner was already at second for the Oilers, so really nice play by Krogan to get it back to Verhamy to tag out Graw. Unfortunate circumstance to keep the Oilers from getting runs in the top of the 5th.
And somehow, someway, the Pilots again work through traffic. Graw reaches second on the error, but unable. It's recorded for the 3rd out, really, on the double play. Pilots bringing up Cortines, Strong, and Weeks, trying to put up anything they can against just a dominant outing from Evan Cineras when we come back on ESPN Radio.
I was told if you could sing it, you can remember. So I want to try this. First, if you ever need a tow truck for any reason, I want you to remember Genwar Towing 394-6068.
Is this an inning change or a pitching change?
Inning change.
Inning change.
All right.
068.
You really shouldn't sing.
Maybe I need more reverb. Genwar Towing.
Not so much. Genwar Towing, 394-6068.
Play ball! Bearbucks is making savings easier than ever with new promotions that give you discounts no matter how much you spend. Enter your phone number at checkout to unlock active deals and rewards every time you shop. Not a member? No problem. Just scan the QR code in store and sign up in seconds. Start earning rewards at just $5 and get double rewards when you spend $50 or more. Don't miss out. Your rewards are tracked right on your receipt and easy to use in the app. Bearbucks. More savings, more rewards every time you shop.
Mulcahy Stadium, the Oilers trying to protect their 1-0 lead, but just looking at the offense, it seems like the Oilers should be leading by more than 1 run. Like you said, that catch it and tag the base double play, something that you might only see 3 or 4 times in a season. We've seen it twice tonight in just 5 innings. First pitch to the leadoff hitter, Cortines, for ball 1.
Yeah, it's been some really odd circumstances that have kept the Oilers from scoring more than maybe they should have so far in this game. Still have the 1-0 lead, though, even through all of that. But the question is, can Evan Cineras preserve it?
0-1 delivery in the dirt for ball 1, 1-1. The count on Nick Cortines. Cortines flew out to center back in the 2nd inning, looking for his first hit, as are the Pilots as a team. No base hits yet tonight. And now a line drive up the middle, and just as I say it, up through the middle for base hit number 1. Cortines is aboard to lead off the inning.
First time we've really seen a Pilots hitter get a hold of one of these pitches from Evan Cineras. A good line shot up the middle, right past Cineras, and right into the gap where Hoover and Cannon weren't. That's about as good of a single as you could hope for if you're a Pilots fan, and just like that, tying run is on base for Anchorage.
Yeah, the tying run on base Cineris would just say, I've been striking everybody out. Got to keep the infield warm. What better way to do that than a double play? So I had to set that up for you guys, right? That's what Cineris would say. The 0-0 delivery, stepping up to the box, is Logan Strong, taken for strike one.
Yeah, Strong grounded out to short his last time up. Cineris only at 64 pitches, so still very much has some wiggle room if the Oilers want to keep him out there for a while. And again, he's only given up the one hit, so no reason to have to worry about a pitching change yet. But if things start to devolve in any way, he's got a little bit of wiggle room to work with, you'd think, as far as pitch count goes.
A foul ball out of play gives Cineris an 0-2 count over Logan Strong, and now he can really go after him and try to induce that ground ball. That would be so helpful to escape this crucial bottom of the fifth inning. And strike three, that'll do pretty much the same thing as good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Logan Strong retired on 3 pitches.
Yeah, just like that, a 4th strikeout on the game for Cineris. Went heavy back on the fastball, and Strong just a little bit late trying to attack it. Ends up 0 for 2 on the day, and Evan Cineris continues with the strikeout-heavy baseball in these middle innings.
Absolutely. He worked through the first and second without recording a strikeout. Walked the leadoff hitter in the third, and since has struck out 4 hitters in let's see, that's 9 outs. So a good bounce back from Cineris. Well, really a bounce back. He was pitching to contact and getting outs anyway in those early innings. Now his pitch to Davis Weeks finds the zone for strike one, 1-1 the count.
Again, heavily emphasizing that outside corner. And what I've liked about what I've seen from Evan so far in these situations is that when there are runners on base, he's not one to panic. He's more often than not been able to get through it calmly and coolly.
Now a big swing and miss. He was nowhere close to a nasty spinner from Cineris. Strike 2.
And I feel like that was a good time to mix in that breaking ball. Curved back towards the outside on a slider. Has it at a 1-2 just like that, looking for 2 in a row.
And now a fastball right back to it is Cineris, and fouled towards the Pilots' dugout. Stays alive in the 1-2 count.
Rain has pretty much stalled out here in Anchorage, so that won't be an issue anymore as far as grip and control goes for these pitchers. From now on, it should just be rock and rubber for both sides.
Cineris ready for the 1-2, gets the sign, now delivers high for ball 2. He's got room to work in the 1-2 count, but now evens it up at 2-2.
Trying to force Weeks to chase on that one. Davis did a smart job of just hanging back, and it was obviously a little bit high, so work by him.
2-2 delivery, swinging strike 3. Again, Weeks nowhere close to a breaking ball that was well low and outside. Strike 3.
And strikeout number 5 now for Cineris in total. It's amazing. You wouldn't know that he didn't go with, or that he went without a strikeout in the first 2 innings, but he has really turned on the Jets here in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah, in the last 8 outs, he's struck out 5. Now the next pitch is delivered for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Ryan Dodson, who struck out looking. He was actually Cineris' first strikeout of the game. Now grounded back up the middle. That's going to be picked up by Cannon, who's going to throw it to first to retire the 3rd out of the inning. And another clean inning. Cineris able to work around the leadoff single. Works around a leadoff base runner for the 2nd time tonight. That's only 2 base runners for the Pilots. Dominant outing from Evan Cineris on the mound. When we come back in the top of the 6th, we're going to have Musil, Cannon, and Fernandez right here on ESPN 96.9 FM, 1140 AM, and online at RadioKenai.com.
Everyone knows the struggle. The DMV keeps bankers hours while they're stuck at work. That's where AK Express rolls in to save the day. They handle the services people need, and that's why they want you. Open until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and Saturdays 11 to 3. AK Express makes busy schedules easier. Conveniently located at the corner of K Beach and West Poppy Lane. Next to Everybody Rides Again. AK Express, where convenience is king.
Looking for the tastiest Mexican food in Kenai? Martha's Cocina serves authentic Mexican dishes locals love. It's a family-friendly restaurant with amazing food for the kids and some of the best margaritas in town for the adults. Planning a party or group event? They've got room and catering too. Visit Martha's Cocina next to Kenai Cinemas on Willow Street. And don't forget their sister location, Acapulco Mexican Restaurant in Soldotna. Call 907-335-1525 today.
Welcome back here on ESPN. Dylan Simmons and Tucker Blau joining you from Mulcahy Baseball Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. And we've got a low-scoring affair here at Mulcahy on this Thursday evening. Your Oilers on top of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots by a score of 1-0. Evanson Ares has been dominant on the mound, just 2 base runners allowed all day against the Pilots. But the Oilers' offense, although they've had their opportunities, haven't quite been able to take control as much as they would like. They'll try to change that in the top of the 6th, Tucker.
Yeah, absolutely. They left 6 on base in the game, and that's not counting the 2 that were out on double plays. There's the run scored, obviously, so they've had runners on base all over the place. Like you said, they only have a 1-0 lead. Fortunately, Soneris able to keep that with the Oilers with the lead with that 1 run, and the Oilers looking to just add to that here.
Musil fouls this one off to the opposite side. Cam Krogan is still on the mound with 72 pitches through this game. Give credit to him as well. Despite the troubles he's faced from this Oilers lineup, he's still done a pretty good job of making sure that the Oilers haven't been able to cash in on those opportunities. Musil sharply hit ground ball over to Verhamy, shortstop on to first, and gets it there for a 6-3.
Yeah, pretty routine ground ball. Owen Musil now retired for the 3rd time today, and he's certainly due to get a hit next time he comes up to the plate.
We'll see if there will be a next time for Owen Musil in this contest, as Shane Cannon, who's been lights out so far in this game, comes to the plate. He's already reached twice, 1 for 1 day so far with a walk. Got a single his last time up back in the top of the 4th.
Yep, Cannon has been on base both times tonight. Looking to extend that streak here.
Krogan delivers. It's a swing and a miss on a fastball towards the inside part of the plate by Krogan. And the count will be at 0-1. And Shane Cannon from UC San Diego trying to show what he can do against this Pilots lineup once again. Breaking ball, nasty from Krogan. Makes the count 0-2. That was a brilliant breaking ball towards the inside part of the zone by Krogan. And just like that, he's got Cannon well behind the count. 0-2 with 1 out. Fastball, and that is just barely fouled off by Shane Cannon to keep it at no balls and 2 strikes.
Like you said, just barely tapped by Cannon to stay alive, and that's just a foul ball. He'll see another pitch, but you can thank his lucky stars he's able to get a piece of that. Yeah,
that was the slightest of slight contact for Cannon that time. We'll see if he's as fortunate here. 0-2, and this breaking ball just misses outside from Krogan, and the count's at 1-2.
Yeah, big league take there from Shane Cannon, and just able to get the call. Unfortunate for Cam Krogan, but Ken will certainly stay alive to see another pitch.
1-2 with 1 out, and that's strike 3 called. Krogan went back to the inside part of the plate and got Cannon once again. Gets him looking this time for his first strikeout of the game, and out number 2 in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, the first time the Oilers have struck out tonight, and another borderline pitch. Cannon was able to get the call on the 0-2 and gets rung up on the 1-2 on the inside part of the plate. So trying to look for those borderline balls, and unfortunately just didn't get the call.
2 quick outs here as Isaac Fernandez comes to the plate, and once again, the Glacier Pilots trying to make quick work of this Oilers lineup late in this contest. Fernandez is 0 for 2 on the day with a ground out to third. He also popped the ball up to short. 0-1, swing and a miss, and the count's just like that at 0-2 as Krogan again utilizes the breaking ball to great effect.
You'll see pitchers a lot of times as the games drag on, they'll start to lose their control. Krogan seems to be sharpening here in the last 2 innings here.
Certainly has. Can he finish the job? 0-2 outside here. Fernandez doesn't chase on this breaking ball, and the count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oilers understand they've only got 1 more inning, at least in the typical 7 innings of the first part of a doubleheader, to work with. So they understand time's of the essence right now. Here's a slowly hit ground ball to short by Fernandez, and Verhamy gets it over to first for another 6-3 and out number 3. 1-2-3 inning for the Glacier Pilots defense in the top of the 6th, and once again the Oilers unable to extend the 1-run lead. Bottom of the 6th is coming up next. We'll see if Evan Cineres and the Oilers defense can hold the Pilots at bay on a tremendous performance. Back in just a moment on ESPN.
Cuts, fractures, sprains, burns, fishhooks, and workplace accidents. Odyssey Urgent Care treats the injuries.
No stretch for this first game. We'll see if there's one in the second.
Repairs right here. Got a fishhook where it doesn't belong? Well, they can help with that too.
Okay.
Site X-ray services, splinting, braces, and expert injury care. You can get diagnosed and treated in one convenient visit. Conveniently located in Kenai in the Odyssey Family Practice Building. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Walk in or call 907-283-8400. Odyssey Urgent Care.
Evan was doing good.
Hazardous trees are such a problem here on the Kenai Peninsula, but they have to be handled, and the place to call is AK Tree Solutions. With many years of experience in residential hazardous tree removal, they offer guaranteed customer satisfaction, and they're very accommodating. AK Tree Solutions also offers tree pruning, and they're licensed and insured. Get those hazardous trees off your property today. Call AK Tree Solutions, 907-398-2903. That's 907-398-2903.
Well, folks, I spoke a little bit too soon because Evan Cineres' night has come to an end after 5 total innings of work. Tucker, what is the final line for Cineres in this contest?
Yeah, a truly dominant outing for Evan Cineres. Leaves the game 5 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed, and 1 walk. That's only 2 base runners over 5 innings. Struck out 5, and that strikeout total, impressive, especially impressive since he didn't strike out anybody through the first 2. And 5 innings, 75 pitches, that's also impressive coming from a pitcher who usually works out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he usually does. This was only his second start of the season, and no doubt his best pitching performance of the year. Russ Martin will come into the game for the Oilers, and he's been a reliable bullpen option as of late for Peninsula, with 20 2/3 innings pitched on the year and a 4.79 ERA, 15 total strikeouts, and he's also got a 2-0 record. And the freshman from the University of Arkansas Little Rock looks to hold up the Pilots at least for one frame, and then maybe Kevin O'Pannell will come into the bottom of the 7th, but we'll see. Jack Karen, Henry Verhamy, and Zach Hefner, line 1 and 2, due up in the order for the Pilots here in the bottom of the 6th.
Like you said, the Oilers trying to defend this 1-run lead. It feels like they should have more of a lead, but fortunately, Cineres was able to keep the Pilots pretty much silent, allowing that 1 run to be all the Oilers need thus far.
And here's a swing and a miss by Jack Karen to bring the count to 0-1. Just 1 hit given up by Cineres in his entire appearance in 5 innings, and 2 total base runners. Pretty good day, I would say, all things considered. Lefty batter up here, and a swing and a miss, as they say Karen went around, and the count's at 0-2.
And Martin doing a good job of jumping ahead of Karen here. That's what we saw Cineres do, and it worked for him. Martin looking to take a page out of Cineres' book, really out of all pitchers' books.
0-2 on the way. This is delivered well inside for ball number 1, almost making contact with Karen, but able to stay away from that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Russ's last appearance on the mound for the Oilers was not all that long ago. Pitched against Chukiak back on July 18th with 1 inning in that game. 0-2, here's a chopper to the left side, picked up by the third baseman Graw, throws on to first, and got it there in time for a 5-3. That was a lot more difficult than Graw made it look, as he's able to get the first out.
Yeah, and on those high choppers like that, you got to do one of the 2 things. You got to pick it on the short hop, or you got to play it on the long bounce. And in that case, with the speed of Karen, you can't really play it on the long bounce just in case Karen was able to beat it out. So he had to go for the short hop. I don't think he got quite as much of a short hop as he would have liked. Had to play it kind of in the middle, but came up with the grab. A very good play from Nolan Graw.
Fouled off by Henry Verhamy, 0 for 2 on the day, with a ground out to short and a strikeout in the 1st and 3rd innings. And Russ Martin trying to make it 2 more quick outs for this Pilot squad in the bottom of the 6th. 0-1 fastball just outside of the plate, and the count evens at 1-1.
In my high school day, back when I was a kid,
in my day,
this was just last year. I played third base, and those are some of my favorite plays. Those high choppers down the third base line.
Well, here's a softly hit ground ball to Cannon. Throws on to first, got it there in time for a 4-3. 2 quick ground outs for Russ Martin here.
Yeah, like you said, Martin working very efficiently. That's exactly what he wants to do, as just trying to get in and out of this 6th inning, and like you said, hopefully bring in Kevin O'Pannell to really shut the door in the 7th.
And this is the luxury of having days off, is that you have your choice of what pitcher you want to use in what game if you're Dave Dawson and the Oilers coaching staff. And having Russ Martin fresh and ready to go, obviously a huge thing in a late 7-inning contest, as that pitch well outside of Zach Hefner for ball 1. Again, trying to induce some weak contact from the Pilots to get that third out. Fastball is fouled back and lands just to the left of us off the press box and goes back into the field of play, 1-1.
Interesting thing as we have a little bit of a delay here as they collect the ball, about Russ Martin. Apparently he can play outfield too. He was playing center field against the local Kenai Legion team on the 4th of July, and he made a full extension dive onto the warning track, made a grab.
1-1 as this is delivered outside. He can actually, and he's a pretty good outfielder, all things considered, as the count goes to 2-1. And that's the thing about a lot of these Oilers players, is that in high school they played other positions and usually did so pretty well. Russ, one of those, as he goes for a breaking ball high here for ball 3 and is in danger of putting Zach Hefner on base, as he's got a 3-1 coming up. But a lot of these Oilers players, whether they were offensive or defensive, were both pitchers and batters, as Martin's fastball is low here for ball number 4. Hefner knew it immediately, and he reaches base for the first time today on a walk.
Obviously a walk, never, not what you want as the pitcher, but the best time to do it is with 2 outs, and now you just still need 1 out. You've got force at first and second to get out of this inning.
Hefner is now at first, representing the tying run for the Glacier Pilots. Cooper Kunis is at the plate, 0 for 2 on the day. Martin goes back to the fastball and delivers it more effectively to bring the count to 0-1.
Yep, able to find the zone immediately after that walk, which is what you want to see. Sometimes you'll see if they can't find the zone, they'll just continue to deteriorate, but Martin able to get right back in the zone.
0-1, here's a high fly ball lifted deep to left field. Bundy going back, and this one lands at the base of the wall, could be trouble. Bundy tries to throw into the infield. The throw will be to home plate. It will make it, but not in time, and the Pilots tie the game up on a massive RBI triple from Cooper Kunis that almost went over the wall.
Yeah, the throw was there well ahead. A great relay from left field. That was Brown to Hoover. Sorry, not Brown. Bundy to Hoover to Fernandez. The throw was there. Unfortunately, a great slide from Zach Hefner coming all the way from first, able to swim around the tag and get just in before Fernandez was able to apply the tag. The Pilots tie the game on an inning that looked like it was pretty much over after retiring the first 2 hitters.
Just like that, it's a 1-1 game, and the run that would give the Pilots the lead is now at third base, as Russ Martin delivers a fastball high for ball number 1 on Jake Haruki, who's 0 for 2 so far in the day. But Cooper Kunis, one of the best power bats the Pilots have at their disposal, almost hit that one out of the ballpark. 1-0 pitch on the way from Martin, swing and a miss from Haruki on a breaking ball, and the count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. But either way, that's going to put pressure on this Oilers lineup in the top of the 7th to try to add at least 1 more run, but they can't get comfortable here because Haruki could very well give the Pilots the lead on 1 shot. 1-1 pitch by Martin, and that's exactly what's going to happen. A line shot over to left field, and the Pilots take the lead as Haruki's got an RBI single with 2 outs, and the Pilots, who've been down and out all day, soar to new heights as they take the lead in the bottom of the 6th.
That's just unfortunate for Russ Martin. Came out firing, induced groundouts from both Karen and Verhamy to start off the inning, and then 3 consecutive base runners 2 runs later, and now the Pilots have the lead, and the Oilers are going to have 3 outs to try to respond.
Nick Cortinas to the plate. He's flown a ball out to center and reached on a single in the 2nd and 5th innings respectively. Delivers a shot over to right. This is just fouled, and the count is at 0-1. But all of a sudden, the sense of urgency picks up for this Oilers squad, who had been sitting pretty much the entire game. And all of a sudden, in just 1/2 inning, this Glacier Pilots team has turned this thing upside down. And with a 2-1 deficit, the Oilers have to make sure this doesn't get any worse, I should say. Here's a softly hit ground ball to short. Hoover throws on to first and gets it there in time for a 6-3. But that does it for the bottom half of the 6th inning as the Pilots put 2 runs on the scoreboard. courtesy of an RBI triple from Cooper Kunis and an RBI single from Jay Karuki. 2-1 is your score. The Oilers will need to score at least one more run in the top half of the 7th inning to keep this first game of the doubleheader going. We'll be back in just a moment on ESPN. Don't go anywhere as the Oilers go back to work.
Ready to spice up your day? Playa Azul Mexican Restaurant in Kenai is serving up bold, authentic Mexican food made with love and packed with flavor. New to town or just passing through, this is your must-stop spot for amazing variety, unbeatable prices, and all your favorites. Enjoy the free salsa bar and kick back with cold beer or a glass of wine. Located just past the last traffic light in Kenai, headed north, Playa Azul is where the fiesta never ends. Come hungry, leave happy. Playa Azul Mexican Restaurant.
It's Progress Days weekend in Saldana. This Saturday, the parade starts at 11 a.m. from Marydale to Binkley and ends on Readout. Then head on over to Parker Park for the free community barbecue beginning at noon. Outdoor games, food trucks, and more. While you're out, stop by Sweeney's Clothing for all your summertime essentials. From Carhartt workwear and rain gear for the whole family, it's one of the area's largest selections of Carhartt. Sweeney's Clothing in Saldana, your workwear and outerwear headquarters for the whole family.
Well, all of a sudden, it is a different kind of atmosphere here at Mulcahy Baseball Stadium. The Anchorage Glacier Pilots on top of the Peninsula Oilers 2-1 as we get into the top of the 7th inning on the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard. A dramatic reversal of fortune in the bottom half of the 6th, Tucker. 2 runs scored by the Glacier Pilots on an RBI triple from Cooper Kunis and an RBI single from Jay Karuki.
Yeah, and it's a gut punch to the Oilers, especially because while they only had a 1-run lead, you kind of had the feeling that they were controlling the game all the way up until that bottom of the 6th inning. Pilots able to steal 2 runs, and hopefully the Oilers can respond.
It'll be Brady Brown, Kyler Hoover, and Brooks Hassenclaver, 8, 9, and 1, due up in the order in this top half of the 7th inning. Again, because this is a doubleheader, this is just a 7-inning game, so it's basically the top of the 9th. And the Oilers have to get at least 1 run to extend this game to the bottom half of the 7th, and then maybe get a chance in extra innings. If they take the lead, then they would just need 3 outs to get the win in the bottom half of the 7th inning. But again, all that is very much up in the air right now, and this Oilers team, which has had missed opportunities today at times, is going to have to try to find a way to respond in a very big-time situation. It will be Brady Brown who will lead off in the South Dakota State product. Is going to do what he can against Gavin Parch in his first work of the day. Parch delivers a breaking ball to the outside for ball number 1.
Parch, of course, replacing Cam Krogan, who leaves the game with 6 innings pitched, 4 hits. That 1 run was earned with 2 walks and 1 strikeout. He's actually in the position to win the game after the Pilots took the lead while he was technically still on the mound.
1-0 pitch is delivered high for ball 2. Now, what I imagine would happen in this situation if Brown reaches first is that the Oilers will probably try to bunt with Kyler Hoover behind him and get him over to second to then bring up the top of the order with Hassenclaver. But again, that's all pertinent on whether or not he can reach first base, and a breaking ball by Parch may see that that isn't the case as the count's at 2-1.
Back in the 4th inning, we saw Hoover lay down a decent bunt. It was just right down the first base line, and unfortunately, he kind of kicked the ball as he was hustling down that first base line. So he's capable of it. It's just a matter of execution.
Brown, slow chopper, picked up by Parch, has to throw to first, and the throw got away. There's a collision between the first baseman and Brady Brown as Logan Strong tried to get that low throw in from Parch. The Oilers have a runner safe at first base with no outs here in the top of the 7th. Wow.
Yeah, and that might be what the Oilers need. Unfortunate for the Pilots, and we see it so many times, and yet it seems to happen so often. Gavin Parch and any pitcher really coming off the mound with the slope of the mound, fielding that ground ball, they seem to just hurry up a little too much and throw the ball away, which is what we saw here.
Good to see Logan Strong and Brady Brown up and moving after that wild collision over at first. It sent Brown head over heels, and Strong was grasping at his shoulder for a moment, but looks like it wasn't too catastrophic of a collision, and that does bring on Kyler Hoover. Will we see the bunt against Parch? We're going to find out. Parch delivers. The bunt was shown, but the pitch was well outside for ball number 1.
And the Pilots are certainly expecting the bunt, as they should be. Pretty much everybody's expecting the bunt, with the infielders, specifically Ryan Dodson, playing in on the grass.
Again, you're just trying to tie the game at this point in time, in the top of the 7th. Everything else is gravy. Here's the bunt laid down. Parch picks it up. Toss to first just in time to get the out, but it does advance the tying run into scoring position as Hoover lays down the sac bunt.
Yeah, like you said, a good sac bunt there from Hoover. Placed that very well towards the first base side. And actually, I thought he might have a chance to beat it out. Gavin Parch, after picking up the ground ball, struggled a little bit to get it out of his mitt. I thought it might be just enough for Kyler Hoover to reach first, but unfortunately, the throw beat him just barely.
Hoover certainly does have some terrific speed, but just couldn't beat out that bunt attempt as we go to the top of the order to Brooks Hossenclaver. Again, the Oilers trying to tie this game up. In some ways, part of their season might be on the line tonight here in this doubleheader. They don't want to suffer a loss to the Glacier Pilots here and make life harder for themselves in these final few games to make that top of the World Championship Series. Every win is precious right now as Hossenclaver fouls this one back to the left side and the count's at 0-1.
Hossenclaver with a hit already today. He's reached base twice. Singled in the first, walked in the third, and grounded out in the fourth, looking to score the tying run from second base here in the 7th.
A hit to the left or right side that gets into the outfield probably would be enough to score the speedy Brady Brown. But again, you got to get it there if you're Hossenclaver. Here's a throwback to second. Brown's got to be careful, and he does make it back in time. Can't be flirting too much with trying to steal base here at this juncture of the game.
That's a unique pickoff move towards second base because he does the spin move, but he actually comes off towards the right side on that. And I'm sure he's used to practicing it, but it looks like a difficult throw to make with your momentum going towards first base.
0-1 with one out. Parch delivers. Hossenclaver watches it go by, and the count goes to 0-2. A nice off-speed pitch by Gavin Parch.
Yeah, after watching that one, I'm sure Hossenclaver wants it back. If he had known that was coming, he could have really put something into it.
So now a very dramatic 0-2 with maybe the best chance the Oilers have of tying this game in the top of the 7th. It's Brooks Hossenclaver at the plate, but down 0-2 in the count with one out. Brown over at second. Delivered by Parch. Hossenclaver, high fly ball deep to right center field. Ranging back and making the catch is Kunis. Advancing to third is Brown. It's out number 2. It doesn't bring in the tying run, but the Oilers are 90 feet away from a tie game now, as it will be Wyatt Bundy who comes to the plate here.
Hossenclaver doing what he does best, putting a huge charge in it deep to center field. Unfortunately, not enough to get down. And this is where it's really, really unfortunate that Nellis got injured earlier in the matchup, because you'd have him stepping up to the plate with the tying run 90 feet away. Nothing against Wyatt Bundy. He's certainly capable. Like you said, he's been hitting the ball well this season as well, but it's just unfortunate not to have Nellis in there.
Yeah, of course, Mark Nellis, like you said, injured earlier in the game after delivering a single. This would be a spot that would certainly be tremendous for him. He more often than not gets put in these situations late in games, and he's usually able to deliver. Quick mound meeting with Rich Price, head coach of the Pilots, as well as Gavin Parch, the Pilots pitching coach, I should say. And right now, the Oilers trying to find their way to a tie game. It's going to be up to Wyatt Bundy to possibly bring in Brady Brown here. Bundy so far today has reached on a fielder's choice and grounded out to first unassisted. He is a lefty batter, and we'll see if that has any effect on Parch here. But Bundy's got to play this smart. This is delivered in low by Parch, and the count goes to 1-0.
And if he's able to get on base via walk, or if he can just find a way to get on base and allow Nolan Graw to step up to the plate, that would be huge as well. So just a big at-bat, obviously, here for Wyatt Bundy.
1-0, strike one delivered. Off speed this time from Parch. Got it in perfectly, and the count evens at 1-1. Pilots trying to upset the order of the Alaska Baseball League tonight by pulling the upset against the Oilers. Peninsula, in many ways, fighting for their playoff lives in tonight's doubleheader. Bundy tries to drive one to the right side and fouls it off as the count goes to 1-2.
He got way around that one, hit it really hard, but way foul. It just pulled it way too hard down that first base line. But he's swinging the bat confidently. Hopefully he can bring that fair. Now on a 1-2 count.
This could be for the game right here. 1-2 and 2 outs to Wyatt Bundy. Brown, the tying run, 90 feet away from scoring. Delivered by Parch, low for ball 2. Good take by Wyatt Bundy. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and it's hard to take any pitch and when you're down to 2 strikes with your team down to your last strike, because you certainly don't want to go down looking to end the game. But Bundy able to hold back and take that ball to work a 2-2.
2-2 on the way to Bundy. Parch deals. That's well inside, almost a hit by pitch. It's ball number 3, and we've got a payoff pitch coming up to Wyatt Bundy. Oh, the drama in the top of the 7th.
And that would have been huge if it had clipped his thighs, because like I said before, Nolan Graw would be stepping up to the plate. Wyatt Bundy is still looking to come through for his teammates with the tying run 90 feet away. The Oilers down to their last strike still.
Fans sitting on pins and needles right now, no matter which team you root for. 3-2 to Bundy. Here's a ground ball to first. Picked up by Strong. He will tag the bag at first base to end this one for the Glacier Pilots. Anchorage pulls the upset here in game number 1 of the doubleheader after a dominant performance from Evan Cineres on the mound. Offense unable to come away with some key opportunities late in the game, and it allows Anchorage to pick up the 2-1 win and hand the Oilers loss number 15 on the season. A tough one to stomach if you're the Oilers after all the great things they did defensively today, but sometimes you catch some unlucky breaks at some inopportune times, and the Pilots able to capitalize on those moments on their way to victory. 2-1 win for Anchorage, picking up their 7th win of the season. And now the Oilers will have to get prepped for game number 2 of this doubleheader. And the path to the championship series gets a lot tougher from here on out. They'll have at least one more game here today and then the Matsu game tomorrow, but you'd almost think they'll have to win both of those to have a legit shot at the top of the World Championship Series. Final thoughts on game number 1, Tucker?
Yeah, this was an unfortunate loss, somewhat of a gut punch to the Oilers. You felt like they were controlling the game through more than the majority, basically all the way up to the bottom of the 6th inning, when the Pilots were able to scrape 2 runs from seemingly nothing against Russ Martin, and that just it's unfortunate for this Oilers squad. Hopefully they understand that they did mostly the right things in this game. It was just the Pilots able to break through in the 6th inning, and there's not really much you can do about that. That's baseball, and looking to bounce back and finish the season strong against the Pilots here in just a few minutes, and then the Miners tomorrow.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in game 2 of the doubleheader. Oilers will be back at it in about half an hour or so against these Glacier Pilots. Could be fighting for any chance they have left of the playoffs in this second game of the doubleheader. We'll see how they respond. Myself and Tucker Blau will be on the call, and we will get you to that game again in about half an hour. For now, we're going to send you back to station programming, and we'll hope you tune back in here in a few on ESPN and on YouTube. Your final from Game 1, Pilots win 2-1. Let's go back to the studio.